Hey guys. Hey you guys, can you hear me? I decided to come on a little bit early just to make sure that everything works. Hey Marty from Arizona. Yay, can you guys hear me? Just let me know because technology really, really hates me. So I'm just trying to make sure here. Yes, amazing. Thank you, Gray Dog Logistics. Love it. Oh, thanks, you guys. I see you start leaving comments beforehand. The suspense. Yes, for me too. It's my first live ever, so it's a little nerve-wracking. See, when you're making videos, it's easier because you get to edit all the weird moments, and I have many of those. I should actually make like a blooper video or something. So let's see. There are some questions. Do I have an IG? Yes, I have an Instagram. It's Trucking Made Successful. Hey, Fugitive. Thanks, buddy. Oh, thank you, Practicing Liberty. Oh, I'm so glad you enjoyed the course. It's amazing to hear. I love hearing that. Woohoo, live stream, y'all. Loud and clear. Team Miranda. I need a dispatcher for a flatbed. Actually, we gave up our flatbed. So yeah, we rented it. I made a video about how we rented it because we wanted to just test out the market. It was a completely new equipment type for me. So I had no idea what I was doing. And then of course the flatbed market, because of seasonality, winter, weather, it kind of crashed. So we gave it up. We have a dry van instead there now. Billy is here. Hi, Billy. Lots of loves. Thank you. Does it really matter for us carriers to keep updating brokers to be successful? Okay, so if you were to ask me a year ago, I would say that yeah, you have to, really go out of your way to communicate with brokers and talk to them and make sure they know exactly where you are. I still believe in that, but I don't go out of my way to do a location update anymore because honestly, I'm fed up with brokers. But yes, good communication can prevent certain issues from happening. So I do recommend communicating. When they email you, make sure that you're there to email back or answer their calls. But yeah, brokers are interesting nowadays. I'm sure you guys agree. Yes, and the board is with us too, because if we have time, honestly, I didn't even set a time limit for this live. I think maybe like an hour or so. I don't even know. But if we have time, I'll do like a little Sonar thing. I'll just share my screen and we're going to look at certain lanes that you guys are planning to do if you have a dry van or a reefer. Since Sonar doesn't have much for flatbeds at the moment, are you going to bring your alter ego persona to the live? Honestly, my alter ego is literally the voice in my head that I sometimes share. I haven't shared it because the voice in my head has been pretty mean lately. So I haven't shared her. I fired her, but maybe, who knows? Or maybe you'll realize that the alter ego is actually me and I just edit her out in my videos. Hello from Eastern Europe in the Mediterranean Sea. Hi, Marco Dakic. Finally. I'm tired of hitting the refresh button while I'm driving to find a load. Which load board do you use? Although, I guess on the mobile app, you would still have to hit refresh. I have the subscription where it kind of updates itself. But yeah, loads are kind of interesting nowadays, although the Midwest has been pretty good to us with the dry vans. Eagles game on. Makes sense. Oh, thank you, R. Smith. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. You do not have to do that, but I do appreciate it. Thank you. What system do you use to keep track of your driver's hours? The ELD, you mean? I use Keep Truckin', which is now known as Motive. So that's where I can see everything. I can see their location. I can see their hours of service. Very often I will help them out when they're trying to figure out their hours if they're doing a split system. So that's the ELD I use. Hey Miranda, thanks for making these videos. Oh, you're welcome. I enjoy them. I love them. I'm looking to get my CDL in the next few months. Are there any companies that have good lease purchase programs? Is it better to buy your own truck? Oh man, so lease purchase programs, it's something, as you guys know, I'm not a big fan of because I feel like a lot of bigger carriers abuse it. And basically you lease purchase and at the end you end up without a truck and without money. Now, in terms of any good companies, I'm not sure. I have always, worked in my own company. So I'm not sure which companies have a good lease purchase program. Is it better to buy your own truck? Depends on what kind of cushion you have, right? Just started my course, the course Friday, lots of good information. I'm so happy you enjoy it. I love hearing that. Oops, I just lost you guys. Let's see, I lost my place. Oh, there we go. Happy New Year, finally live chat. Yes, I know, it's really exciting. I'm actually getting more comfortable with this, which is surprising. I'm very shy. I have always been very, very shy. So I'm surprised I am doing this. I will buy your course as soon as I start my corporation. Oh, amazing. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions. I know I'm very slow at answering emails, but I do answer them. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy 2023. May this be an amazing year. Thank you. Appreciate. You're so welcome. Hiring owner operators by any chance? I am not, simply because owner operators usually are independent contractors, and because I'm in the lovely state of California, we have the AB5 law, which prevents us from basically onboarding independent contractors. Fun. What do you think about the CEO of CH Robinson leaving? I don't know anything about it, but I'll do some research. I have a flatbed and I'm in Houston. There's nothing good at the, yeah. So yeah, that's exactly why we got rid of the flatbed. We actually got stuck in the West Coast for, I think it was 1.5 months. I could not get my guy out. There was just nothing. It's not that I could have gotten a bad way to get him to a normal place. There was just nothing going to any normal place. Everything was going to the West Coast. Let's see. Greetings from Lancaster, California. Oh, you're nearby. Hi. And I just purchased one that is, you only run California. So reefer in California is interesting. Last year has been kind of up and down, but in general, reefer in California does relatively well. And this is because California has all that produce. So in general, I'm not sure what's going to happen this year. I'm really, really hoping that come March, April, the market is going to get a little bit better in terms of rate per mile. This is what I'm really, really hoping. Do you remember any of the Georgian? No, when I was a little girl, I studied Georgian. My my whole family speaks Georgian. I don't. The only thing I know is Madloba, Rogorachat, and Gamarjaba. That's it. The brokers are suffocating. Oh, Mark the mailman, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Again, you guys don't have to do that, but I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. It makes me so embarrassed, honestly. The brokers are suffocating the small business truckers. Yes, they are. They're really abusing their power, and they're becoming nasty. Let me tell you guys a story. One of my guys was delivering a load in Dallas, Texas, and this was Scott Lynn. The broker was Scott Lynn. We have done so many loads with them, and when my guy came to deliver the load, it was 2 days before Christmas, so he was due for home time. And he came there and they say, we need an appointment number. So we did not have the appointment number. I called Scott Lynn 4 times over the course of 1 hour because I needed him to get unloaded. And finally, the other dispatcher called, my partner dispatcher, and she started telling them, she's like, listen, we need the appointment number. You're the only ones who can give it. The guy actually on the phone, Scott Lynn, he told us, don't call us anymore. I mean, dude, do your job. I'm sorry to be blunt, but brokers are really out of their minds. Please don't forget to tell us what package contains when you send it to brokers. Okay, yes. That's a good question. I actually have your questions here as well. So what do you need to send to a broker when you're getting set up? They will send you a carrier packet. You have to fill that carrier packet either online, or if they send you a PDF, you can fill it out on the computer PDF file. Send that back with your W-2, certificate of authority, certificate of insurance. The broker might ask you also to send a certificate of insurance listing them as a certificate holder. In that case, you just call your insurance company and tell them this broker wants to be added. And sometimes they will ask for a voided check if you're doing ACH. So that's pretty much it. Sometimes they will also ask for references, but that's usually done within the carrier packet. So hopefully that answers your question. Hello, I enjoy your videos, good info. Thank you so much, I really appreciate it. I want to build a fleet starting this year, probably towards the end, scale up, more trucks. Any other tips? Mason, my biggest advice is if you're scaling up, take it slow. So in 2021 is when we started expanding our business, and we expanded relatively fast. I mean, in comparison, and there was a moment where I was like, holy crap, it was scary. So take it slow, make sure you have a good cushion. So yeah, and you're doing flatbed. So flatbed is very seasonal from what I learned. Do you have any experience with flatbed? Are you going to be dispatching yourself? How is that going to work? So that would be my question. What do you think of Amazon loads? So actually, I have never worked with Amazon. And the reason is I don't like their rates, and they seem to be more geared towards power only, and we don't do power only. So I never really worked with Amazon. But I hear that usually during the holiday times, they pay very, very well. That's what I hear. I also hear that there are a lot of people that sorry, I got distracted, that will take team loads being a solo, and that's how they make their money, which I'm not a big fan of. I don't think that's right, but yeah, there are mixed reviews of Amazon, but I have never worked with them. What insurance companies do you recommend? So if you're getting your authority, and interesting. So the first thing that comes to mind is Progressive Insurance, and that's because they take on new CDL holders pretty much nationally. The bad thing, and I don't know if this is nationwide, but in California, number one, Progressive does not insure reefers. And number two is they will not work with a new venture, which means they require you to have a DOT that is 1 year old or older. But Progressive is pretty good in terms of price for the most part. But then again, they're extremely strict, and they can drop you at the drop of a hat. I'll actually tell you a story. They dropped us. Our baby company, we had an out of service order because my guy, he had a leaking tire. It was fine in the morning. He did his pre-trip inspection. And when he got to the weight station, I guess he picked up a nail or something. It was leaking. They put him out of service, and Progressive dropped us. It's insane. But that might be just because we're in California. Insurance companies differ based on state. Dunn's number. Bedros Peter Bedorsian. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Sorry, I'm going through these questions really slowly. I'm just trying to answer all of them. When setting up an LLC or corporation, do you need a Dunn's number? So a Dunn's number, I have one. I'm not very familiar with it, but I guess it's something that will help you with your credit. This is a way for people to check your business credit. I would recommend getting one. It's free. So why not? What do you think of Amazon load? I answered that. Text me for lease. You can also, oh, you can turn on slow mode. How do I do that? I don't even know how to do that. I'm telling you, I'm not technologically advanced. Despite the board, this took me a while to figure out. Sonar, I still haven't figured it out. I'm just kind of throwing doo-doo at the wall and seeing if it sticks. Truck Smarter has a chat every Friday. They were hoping that perhaps you might collaborate with them. Maybe. I haven't done collaborations. I don't do sponsored videos simply because I don't like, so I'm very pressed for time for the most part. So, and I don't like putting out how do I say it nicely without using a swear word? You know, like not great work just because I don't have time. So I don't do sponsorships. I don't do a lot of collabs, but this is something that I really need to start looking into. What's a good cushion? That is a great question. And I'm going to tell you, it depends on your operations, right? It depends on the type of equipment you're operating, what areas you're operating in, how long you're planning to stay out. I like to say, I wear suspenders with a belt, so I like to say that you should have, I mean, I don't even know, I can't even put a number on it. For me, a good cushion would be, I don't know, I'm perplexed. I'll get back to you. Email me. Talk about trucking at gmail.com. I forgot my own email. I love everything that you do. You've been a good teacher. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And again, I lost you guys. There we go. How do I make moderators? Can someone help me? Because again, I'm an idiot when it comes to technology, and this is my first live. I would love to make moderators. Ron Smith, thank you. Yes. I also smile when I'm a little bit shy. So you guys are seeing the whole thing. Where are you based out of? I'm in Southern California. Happy New Year from England. Happy New Year. Oh, congratulations. Are you hiring drivers now? We're not hiring at the moment. Trying to take every effort to improve my value for future ventures. Obtaining TWIC, hazmat, fast. So TWIC, hazmat is interesting. A few days ago, I learned something completely new. You can actually transport class 9 hazmat loads without having any permits, which is insane because we were in that situation and I nearly flipped out because the broker told us it's not a hazmat load, and on the bill of lading it says it's a hazmat load. But in terms of hazmat does pay higher. TWIC, so TWIC cards are interesting. Usually if you have a TWIC card, basically you don't have to pay an escort fee at the ports. But if you don't have a TWIC card, usually you can pay the escort fee and the broker will reimburse you. You are truly beautiful. Oh, thank you so much, T-Rex. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you, Joel. What was our RPM for December? That's a great question. I have no idea. Let me check. Let's see. I think it was like $2.36 per mile, if I am not mistaken. $2.30, and this was with Deadhead. I just checked it a few days ago. So that's where I'm getting that number from. $2.37. Not the best December. What do I think about e-carrier check? What is that? Sorry, maybe I'm not, yeah, let me know what that is. I'm not sure what that is. Do you mean like a comm check? 30 years from your videos, Miranda, thank you. Thank you, Fugitive. Oh, you're also in California in the next couple of weeks. Hinkali, yes, hinkali, for those of you who don't know, it's a Georgian staple food. It's dough with meat inside and it's like soup. Oh my God, it's so good. It's like you bite the dough, you drink the soup, and then you eat the meat. It's insane. Really hard to make. Hi, Miranda. If I move to another state, can I transfer my MC to the new state? And is it a hassle? That is a great question. I have looked at moving our company out to a place like Nevada and moving myself there. I am not sure. I'm not sure because I didn't get that far. You're a great blessing. Thank you so much. How use LinkedIn negotiate? I do not use LinkedIn to negotiate with shippers to get loads. I do spot markets, so I negotiate with brokers. Thank you, T-Rex. Can you give insight in this year's future in trucking? Well, what I think will happen is right now, it's what, January 8th. Right now, the market is, at least in the Midwest, it's pretty decent for dry vans. It's pretty okay in Texas for reefers. If you're going to places like Utah, from Utah, there are good loads to Texas. So we have been doing very well. Come January 15th to 20th is when everything, in my opinion, will start falling off a cliff, because that's what happens every single year. And then that will last until the end of February, beginning of March. This is just seasonality. This is what happens every single year. The volumes go down. And then I'm hoping that somewhere in April is when, when things start growing again, when the weather is warmer, is when it will start picking up in terms of volume. But also it depends how many carriers will come into the market. And sorry, got distracted again. How many carriers will come into the market, and then we have to look at supply and demand. But volumes should start picking up somewhere in April, in my opinion. Any tips on connecting directly with shippers via LinkedIn? I have never tried, but I used to be a recruiter, and LinkedIn is a really, really good place to connect with people. You just honestly just search and start adding connections. That's what I did. 5 trucks on MC for them to be able to give you a load. Okay, I know what you're talking about. I've seen those loads. They are rare, where a broker requires you to have a certain number of trucks in your fleet in order to be able to haul a load. This is, as far as I know, this is shipper or their client specific. It's not for the broker themselves. It's just that they have a client that requires that. So this is what I know. W-9, not W-2. Not sure what the question was. I sent you many emails hoping to get a reply. If you didn't get a reply, I replied to every email yesterday. I have pretty much nothing in my inbox unless it came today. So if I didn't reply, please send it again. That means it got lost. And I do apologize. You're not following anyone back on Instagram. Oh my goodness. Oh, there's Sneaky in the background. Sorry, you guys. I lost you again. Man, I lost my place. Let's see. I'm not following anyone back on Instagram. That's because, honestly, Instagram is something that I'm not very, I mean, I try to post there sometimes, but usually it's just a copy of what I post on YouTube. But I love you guys, all of you. I really do. I love the community we have built together. Let's see. Do you need fourth quarter IFTA taxes even if you just started? Yes, you still have to file even if you have no miles. Since you started, just file that you have 0 miles. To purchase a brand new truck and become an owner operator this year? That's a great question. I am torn because on one hand, I would say it's best to start in a market like this because you go into the worst and it hopefully can't get any worse than this. So you learn a lot. On the other hand, again, it depends on what kind of cushion you have. You have to understand that right now, your net income is going to be very very low compared to what it was in, for example, 2021. But 2021 was an insane year that I don't think will ever be repeated. Anthony Axel, my Instagram is at Trucking Made Successful. Exactly like YouTube. Hi, Anthony. Hi, no clever name. I love your username. Do you have any, let's see. Oh, the truck sales. Okay, yes, I actually looked at it on Sonar. Let me see if I can share it with you guys. That's why I have the board here. Let me see if I can share it. And I'm going to show you that I did not see any seasonality here. That's a great question. Do you guys see this? So this is the Class 8 trucks. I know it's probably very, very blurry, but this is from 2014 all the way to 2023. I don't see any seasonality here. I think what happens is when the market starts getting better is when people start ordering trucks. There's always a delayed reaction. Hopefully that answers your question. Let's see. Do you recommend a trusted shop here in California? Do you have a contact? Yes, so I do have a contact from Progressive. His name is Pablo. Can you email me and I'll email you his contact information? He's the agent for Progressive because I know not all agents work with Progressive in California. So I do have a contact. Email me. In terms of a trusted shop, I'll be honest, one of the worst things about our operations is that we do not have a trusted shop. We rely on maintenance on the road. Loves TA, so we pay an arm and a leg, and it's absolutely not the way you should be doing it. It's something we have to change. Let's see. N. Alvarez. Thank you so much. Am I going to be doing lives every Sunday? Probably not every Sunday, but maybe every 2 weeks. Maybe. We'll see how this one goes. Seems to be going pretty well so far. As someone starting in the business, are there any financial institutions you would recommend for new owner operators? You mean for financing companies? So I have worked with BMO, Daimler, and Crossroads so far. Crossroads has by far the lowest interest rates, but again, they are dealer specific. In California, they work with the Freightliner in the Velocity Truck Centers in Oxnard. So they're great. BMO is wonderful, but their interest rates are insane. In terms of new owner operators, I'm not 100% sure. Daimler gave us a chance. We were not new, but we had never financed when we started financing with Daimler. Fugitive, let's see, and send them. Whatever they wanted to. Yeah, so basically the broker will send you a contract and you have to fill out things like your carrier name, the contact information, sometimes references. You fill that out, send that back to them together with your W-9 for your company, a voided check possibly, the certificate of insurance, and the certificate of authority. Is $4.70 per mile a good load? Yes, in this market especially. Hi, Miranda. Thank you for all the great advice. Love your channel. Do you think it's a good time to become an owner-operator in January 2023? Tony, thank you so much. Again, I'm torn. On one hand, I think that, you know, if you want to come in a bad time and learn as much as you want, yes, it is. And that way you can, if you go through this and survive, you're pretty much golden. On the other hand, I think it depends on your safety cushion. Will this be posted for later viewing? Yes, I think I figured out a way to do that. So yes, I will. Rocky, thank you so much. Thank you. I always get embarrassed of those kinds of comments, but I really appreciate it. Oh, okay, got it. Bedros Peter, I am going to, let's see, can I do that? I'm going to make you a moderator. There we go. Will there be an uptick for port work this year? That's a great question, and that's something I need to research. I'm not as familiar with ports as I'd like to be. That's something I need to research. So I'll get back to you. Email me. What's your plan for your own trucking company? How many trucks am I planning to grow to? Well, ideally like 100 someday, but this year it depends. It depends on how the year goes. We'll see what happens in April. If April proves to be April for us, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just our luck. April for us has always been one of the worst months, no matter what. When is the best time to get a good load coming out of Maryland? Well, do you have a dry van or a reefer? Let me know. Trucking simple, $20,000 cushion. Depends, how many trucks are you planning to operate? I would say for me, 20,000 for a truck is good for 1 month. That's how I look at it, because I assume that brokers are not going to pay. I always wear suspenders with a belt. I always overestimate all expenses for the month and underestimate all the incoming money. Auntie, click on my name and click on make mod. Okay, I'll make you a moderator too. That's awesome. See, you guys teach me so much. Let's see. Can you do a video of how much a driver should get paid by a carrier? So I made a video on how to hire and retain drivers and how to find them. In terms of how much they should get paid, I mean, I guess it depends on the carrier, it depends on the scope of work, it depends on the radius of operation, it depends on the equipment they're driving, so on and so forth. I believe the average right now is like 55 cents per mile. We pay above that. What's your process for booking your drivers in advance? We do not book in advance. So one of the reasons I do not book in advance is because everything can, sometimes, not everything, but sometimes things can go wrong. So I'm a nervous Nelly, and I like to have full control of things. So I do not book in advance unless my guy is delivering in the evening and I know I will not be able to get him a load that evening. I might book for the next morning. Would I recommend a third-party company to get the DOT approval paperwork faster? DOT you get right away. So in terms, if you're looking just for speed, DOT you get right away when you apply for it. MC you will get 1 day later if you know where to look. So usually they will mail you your MC number, but there is a way to find your MC number as well. Email me and I'll let you know how to do that. What cost per mile calculator do you have? I actually created one and it's available on my website under free tools. Oh man, again, I lost you guys. Yikes. Let's see. Do you operate as a broker dispatcher for owner operators? I do not. So I do not dispatch outside owner operators. I only dispatch my own fleet of trucks. I would go crazy at the moment because it's just me and another dispatcher, and it's a lot, especially in today's market. So right now, due to time constraints, I'm not able to, but this is something I'm looking into adding in the future. Maybe if I expand a little bit, my dispatching team. Do I do any government loads? I would love to, but I have not. I know that they pay a lot. I'm interested in getting my trucking authority only to sign on owner operators as passive income. I do not recommend that. I know, I mean, you can listen to me, you can choose not to. I do not recommend that as passive income. What incentives are truckers looking for when deciding whether or not they want to sign on with you? Well, this is a good question. I know miles are very important. Of course, how much you pay them. Transparency is very important. Whether you pay layover, detention, do you have any benefits? Those things are very important. The main thing you have to remember if you're hiring is be transparent and treat your team with respect. This is very, very important. And don't get on a high horse. Thanks for your videos. Thank you, TBT USA. Amir, how many languages do you speak? Well, I speak English. I speak very broken Russian and very broken French. I wish I spoke Ukrainian, but never learned it. Do we broker any box trucks out of New England? We don't broker, and I actually have never had the pleasure of working with box trucks, so I'm not very familiar with that side of the industry. Our company is in Southern California. Have I gotten any drivers, any contract rate? No, I have not. I work solely off the spot market. Hinkali is also Dagestan's best meal. Oh, Hinkali is the best. You guys search up Hinkali. It's amazing. Hinkali. Shows shippers, brokers. E-carrier check shows you what lane shippers, brokers, and carriers are moving freight. Oh, interesting. I've never heard of e-carrier. Roadrunner Logistics. Thank you. You're awesome too. Can you start a trucking company without a CDL, 2 trucks with 2 drivers? I believe you can. I think there might be an interesting moment with insurance. You'll have to explain why you don't have a CDL. I'm not sure, but I believe you can. You can definitely get your authority and everything without a CDL and without a truck. They don't ask you for a VIN number or a CDL number or anything. Amazing, Roadrunner. Squirrel. We have a lot of squirrels in our backyard. Some viewers are just ungrateful. Don't apologize. I don't take it close to heart. Listen, everyone has their own opinions. You can't please everyone, right? Let's see. Oh, Bill Mart, that's amazing. $5 per mile. I need to learn from you. See, I can't get $5 per mile. Do I get loads on Amazon Prime, Amazon Chime? I don't know what Amazon Chime, but no, I do not work with Amazon. Oh, amazing, Darren. Congratulations, 2 trucks. Yes. Renting a dry van trailer. So we use TNT Sales in Villa Ridge, Missouri. They are amazing. They have flatbeds and they have dry vans and they have Conestogas. It costs $1,200 per month to rent a dry van from them, which is a 2020 model, I believe. I don't have my paperwork in front of me, so I don't remember. I think it's 2020 or 2021. It's really easy. You have to get approved. They do check your credit there. And at TNT, they approved me within, I think, 5 minutes. They're really, really quick. And that's it. You just go there to pick up the trailer. Very, very easy. Trucks are still overpriced. Absolutely. Thank you. I'm not going to pronounce your name. I'm sorry. My pronunciation is horrible. Abdi Fatah. Thank you. I will try. A lot of trolls here. I made 2 mods, so let's see. You're a mod, ain't I? You're a mod. Were you born in the USA? No, I was born in the Ukraine, in Mariupol. There is nothing left of it at this point. Hi, No Name. No Name, I believe, did you ask me a question? I didn't even get to the questions. Let's see. I'm still sharing the screen. Let's see. Cloud Sky. Leasing a truck from a big carrier. Honestly, I have never leased a truck from a big carrier, but just from what I know from the horror stories, I know that a lot of, not all of them, of course, just from what I've heard, a lot of big carriers use this lease to own, lease to purchase program, and basically the owner operator ends up broke and without equipment. So I'm not a very big fan of lease purchase programs. Do people get good loads? Maybe. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But I did make a video about lease purchase programs. I have never done a lease purchase from a big carrier. I have just read and heard horror stories. Virginia truck loans. I'm not sure. GHA love forever. I will definitely try to answer all questions. Load boards ain't it. Yeah, load boards, the spot market, you have to understand the spot market, it's like, what do I compare it to? It's like trash that no one wanted. It literally is that, because it goes to contract carriers first. If they say no, it goes to another contract carrier. They say no, the primary carriers. And then finally, it ends up on the load board. So because a lot of contract carriers have been accepting the contract freight, there's not much on the load board. Any advice for a new independent dispatcher business in this market? Yes, if you want to stand out, you have to. It's not just about booking, negotiating, and communicating with the broker and sending paperwork. You have to provide additional services that will make the owner operator's life easier since they are on the road. I would recommend that. And of course, compare your prices to other dispatchers. Happy New Year, Yarko. Again, I lost you guys. I suck at this. What is going on? Oh my goodness, man. Let's see. How many trucks should one dispatcher handle in your opinion? So it's interesting. I have heard of dispatchers who handle 10 trucks. I have heard of dispatchers who handle 2 and it's too much. Right now in this market, I think in order to do a really good job, the less the better. And the reason is it takes a long time if you're working off the spot market to book a load. There are just not enough loads. And sometimes someone asks me this question, how long do I take to book a load? Sometimes, I wake up usually between 5 and 6 or so. It depends on where my guys are. I'm in the West Coast, so I'm at maximum 3 hours behind, but I live in the past. So I wake up pretty early, and sometimes I can be booking loads until 6, 7 p.m. It's a bad market. It also depends where they are, right? Let's see. Sorry, I'm going to be going a little bit quicker here because I don't want to waste anyone's time. Truck router, interesting. How much per month per truck insurance? It depends. It depends on what is your insurance company, what kind of equipment do you operate, what is your radius of operations, what kind of CDL do you have, how long have you been in this business, and so on. Grace Foundation, that's a very, very interesting question. If I was starting a trucking company tomorrow morning, I would still go with a reefer. We started our trucking company with a reefer. I would still go with a reefer because reefers, they transport perishables. People need to eat, right? So to me, this is still the most recession-proof trailer. Of course, rates will go up and down, but there will be loads constantly there. And there's a little bit more negotiating power with a reefer because you can always use the excuse that you have reefer fuel to, you have to spend on reefer fuel. Like if you're in August and it's, I don't know, 105 degrees in the area and you have to transport a load of ice cream, negotiating power. What types of trucks am I running? We run dry vans and reefers. Have I worked for any big companies? No, I have never worked for any big companies. Again, I got into this industry, and someone asked me this. I got into this industry, I was thrown into it. I used to be in the fashion industry. I started off as a um, in bridal retail. Then I started designing my own dresses. That didn't work out. Then I went back to bridal retail. Then I became, what is it called, a recruiter for the fashion industry. So I was recruiting candidates for brands like Gucci, Louis Vuitton, et cetera, for all positions, from area, regional manager, all the way to the retail level. That was my thing. And then my family, they decided that they want to start a trucking company. No one had experience with a trucking company in the United States. And yeah, I basically, because I lived here the longest, my family wanted me, or they gave me the job of trying to figure out how to start it up. They thought that I would be the one who would be able to do it. So I quit my recruiting job and I started looking into how to do it. And I learned a lot along the way. And I've been doing that ever since. We have 2 trucking companies now. Am I hiring new drivers? Not at the moment. Let's see. What do I consider a good weekly gross for one unit? That's a good question. I'll have to get back to you. I need to do a lot of calculations to figure that out because, yeah, I consider a good weekly net to be $7,000, which is impossible for one truck. We're in California. I'm in Southern California. Do we do partials? We do full dedicated loads only. Steps in order to oh my goodness, again, I lost you guys. I'm sorry if I missed some questions. It's just my chat, it's kind of skipping, which is the most ridiculous thing ever. Let's see. Do I still use Sonar? Yeah, absolutely. It's on my board behind me. I absolutely love Sonar. I'm still trying to figure it out, but there's so much information. I'm going to show you guys a page that I created, which I find to be absolutely insane. These are gauges of all the different things. I mean, again, it's so blurry. I'm so sorry, but there's the total consumer credit outstanding, shipment volumes. Let's see. Diesel truck stop actual price right here. You see, this is a 52-week high and low for all of them. So I have this. I love research. I am obsessed with anything that has to do with research and understanding the, the freight market. So I absolutely love Sonar. I'm trying to figure it out to get really comfortable with it, but I highly recommend. Do I think that the trucking industry is going to get a bigger hit? So it's an interesting thing. Recession in the general economy does not always mean a freight recession. This is something that surprised me that I learned about a month ago. It does not always mean a freight recession. Do I think we're going to get hit? Yeah, I think so. I think January, again, the second part of January and February are going to be really, really tough. But I'm really hoping that towards the Q2, Q3, especially, it's going to get better. We'll see what the diesel prices do as well, because last year, the problem was not really the rates. The rates per mile on the spot market were, I mean, in some areas they were horrid, but for the most part, they were not awful if we compare it. But what happened was that diesel prices were so high that they were just eating up the net income. 1,200 for a dry van, that sounds too much. You know what? Desperate times call for desperate measures. Slava Ukraini. Yes, absolutely, Raf. Героям слава. God bless you in Ukraine. God bless Ukraine. Are brokers really necessary? So sole proprietorship. So brokers are not necessary. I mean, they are middlemen between shippers and carriers, right? So if you're able to find direct shippers, you really do not need a broker. It's just the problem is a lot of carriers either cannot or don't want to put in the time to find direct shippers. So brokers are not necessary, no. See, how do I feel about Convoy now? You mean the broker Convoy? I haven't booked a load with them in over a year. They have a very weird system. It seems like everything is bid. You have to bid on everything. I don't like that. I want to see what they're offering. I don't like their loads either. They don't have a ton of freight anymore. Uber Freight, I'm not against, especially for dry vans. Uber Freight is pretty good, but they're also, sometimes they make such silly mistakes. Just yesterday, I found a load. Yesterday? What's today? Sunday, the day before yesterday. I found a load via Uber that seemed to be iffy. I called the shipper and they said that this load will not, okay, let me tell you the story. Uber said that this load can be picked up from anytime from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m., right? But in the notes, there was a small note saying that the shipper is open only until 1 p.m. So I called the shipper and they said that, no, if you book this load, you can pick it up on Monday, which would cause us to lose the whole weekend. I called Uber, I told them that, remove us from that load because I had booked it, and they reposted it back. And sometimes Uber is iffy. I worked at TMC. Tarps are heavy. Oh yeah, absolutely. The last load we did with the flatbed before we gave it away was a tarp load, and it was raining. So you can imagine how heavy that was. Tesha, I have not made a video about how much an owner-operator should get paid when leased onto the carrier. This is an interesting question. As far as I know, I have not made this kind of video, but owner-operators get either a percentage of gross or a cents per mile basis, but I'm not sure. I have not made that video yet, but I'll look into it. Let's see. God save Ukraine. You were born in Ukraine too? Where were you born? Yes, God save Ukraine. If you can't handle 10 trucks as dispatch, you don't make any money off of it. Possibly. Let's see, reefer sucks. Reefer is frustrating, for sure. Long loading, long unloading times, and it's very loud. And you can't turn it off at night. It's very, very loud. What has stopped us from getting contract freight? Honestly, it's the time. I haven't put in the time to find contract freight because it's all on my shoulders. And I'm a little bit, I'll be completely honest, I'm overwhelmed with the workload, especially with the market being the way it is. I'm a little bit overwhelmed, so I haven't had the time yet. But that's from what I know, that's the way to go for sure. Can you send us emails to inform us about the date and time of your live? I mean, those who bought the courses. So Wissam, sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. I do not send emails to students because a lot of them opt out of emails, but I will always post on the YouTube community tab. No clever name. You just might so get them see. No, so the way it works, you do not need a CDL or a truck in order to apply for the MC and DOT number. Once you apply for the MC or DOT number or DOT number and you get it, you have to do VOC3, UCR, and for that you do not have to have any truck or CDL information. However, in order to activate your MC number, you need to get insurance on file. And for insurance, you do need a CDL and truck information. Yeah. Do I give myself a time limit when searching for loads? It depends on the area. So if I have a truck in Pennsylvania, yeah, I try to give myself a time limit, preferably by noon, because after noon, there is nothing left. If it's a pretty decent, if it's like Minnesota, then no, I don't have a time limit because there are, at least right now, there are loads there up to 8 p.m. It depends. I'm always trying to get that one load, that stress sale. And I've been pretty lucky so far, but don't rely on luck. It's one of my downfalls as well. Let's see. Again, it skipped. Man, how much does Sonar run? Do you need to have a business account to get signed up? So that's a that's a great question. That's a great question. When you try to sign up with Sonar, at first it will ask you for a business email. And sometimes, if you don't have something like, I don't know, your name at yourcompanyname.com, it won't let you sign up. So you have to, I called them because I don't have such an email. I don't see the point of paying for that. So I called them and they got me the demo and I signed up from there. But in terms of price, it's either $2,000 per quarter, or you can pay twice a year, $4,000 or $8,000 a year. Let's see. I bet you're not married, yet you work too much. I am married. I just have a very understanding husband who is also a workaholic. So we understand each other perfectly. Why did I not pursue a modeling career? I think trucking is much more fun. Flatbed is awesome if you're willing to work instead of say, yeah, absolutely. Flatbed is one of those things, either you absolutely love it or you absolutely hate it. Some people love it. We decided not to go with flatbed because the market wouldn't allow us to continue. Look at her hand, yes. See. Flatbed is great, especially tarping with high wind and rain. Oh yeah, absolutely. And freezing cold weather. Oh, yikes. Howdy from Texas, my favorite state. Hi, Michelle. Monterey, from your comment to God's ears. See if you want swing doors. Towards the end. Yeah, and again, it skipped. Sorry, I'm trying to read. I'm a pretty fast reader, but not as fast as I should be. Let's see. Can I suggest a load board for box truck? I know DAT is a good load board for box trucks as long as you filter appropriately by the length and everything. It's a good load board for box trucks. But in terms of box truck specific, I'm not sure, unfortunately. How can you remove ELD violations from your DOT? I am not sure. I have never tried. Maybe someone else knows. I do apologize. I don't know. Is 2023 good to start dispatching? So it's an interesting question because right now I think 2022 was such a mess that I think a lot of carriers are trying to save money. So if you start dispatching, what will help you is providing extra services for the same amount of money. I know that people don't like hearing it. Just first of all, be competitive with your prices, and then offer some back office services as well. Something that will make the life of the owner operator easier. Do we do local loads in California? We used to. In 2021, there were a lot of local loads in California because the prices were so insane. But in 2022, no. We do interstate loads. For the most part, we try to be in the Midwest. We try to right now stay away from the West Coast as much as possible, especially with the weather. The weather has been insane. Fugitive, how much does Sonar charge a month? So they do not have a monthly plan. You can only pay either by quarter, or you can pay semi-annually, it's called, yeah, twice a year, or you can pay once a year. Let's see. Good afternoon from Sacramento. Hi. Cover Me Insurance will take new authority drivers, but must only have one driver. Interesting. Go share. Yeah, I would love to Sabla, not Sabla, Sabia. Sorry, I'm blind as a bat. Even with without my glasses, I can't see anything. Like everything is blurry. Yeah, so I wish I knew how to control the chat, but I am not sure. West of Ukraine near Lutsk City. Amazing. Just getting here. Stanford Logistics. I'm just getting here. How do you feel about fuel going down and rates rising over time? We personally think the bottom was in and staying in the past. From your lips to God's ears, I'm not sure. From what I saw, fuel is starting to rise a little bit again. I know the price per barrel has gone up as well. The rates are pretty decent. I can't say anything, but then again, I have been focused on, for the reefer, it was Utah, which is a pretty decent market. If you guys want to see, I'm going to show you Utah for the reefer. I love this board. Do you guys love this board? It's my best friend. Let's see if it loads. So is this reefer? Yeah, you can see right here, Utah. Oh, you can't see anything. Yikes. How do I make you see that? Well, you see the volume right here. There are a lot of loads there, and it's kind of light blue, so the tender rejection rates are decent. Utah's a really good market, but in general, the Midwest is pretty great. You can see the Midwest is all around here. And this is for a reefer, but for the dry van, it's pretty much the same. Truck stop is better for flatbed. Yes, I heard that. I actually never used truck stop for the flatbed. I only use DAT. Is it a good idea to open a trucking company in 2023? So as I said before, starting, at 2023 right now, it's okay. Again, I have been limited to the Midwest and Utah because that's where my guys have been running for the most part. I try to be strategic here, but it's starting off seemingly okay. But I think it's going to slow down starting middle of January all the way until the end of February, maybe beginning of March, and hopefully somewhere towards the end of March, April, it starts picking up again. But if you start in a bad time, you will learn a lot. If you survive this, you're good to go. Could I wait to get my insurance until it's closer to my 21 days? Yeah, you can wait to get, so you have 90 days to get insurance on file, or your authority will be dismissed if you do not get insurance on file and BOC3 on file within 365 days or a year. It will be permanently dismissed and you'll have to reapply and pay that fee all over again. So if I'd like to pay annually for Sonar, it would be $8,000. Hi from Moldova. Hi, Virginia. Oh, wait, that's Roadrunner. Hi. Hi again. Let's see. What's that board called? This is the Vibe board. It's the best investment ever. I adore that board. It's amazing. I used to do all my numbers on this board, but it became too small. And that's an electronic version of a whiteboard. It's amazing. I can upload everything. It's perfect. Do you speak Ukrainian Russian? Unfortunately, I do not speak Ukrainian, but I do speak Russian, very broken Russian. How are tender rejection rates in Michigan, Ohio, Indiana right now? Yeah, so is this for a reefer or a dry van? For a reefer, Indiana is, let's see, you said, here, let me, so this part is Indiana, that's the volume. Michigan is actually pretty dead for reefer in terms of tender rejection rates. You said also, let's see, Michigan. Ohio is also pretty dead in terms of rejection rates. Indiana is okay. Missouri is okay. Yeah. Oh, Roadrunner, your wife is a freight broker. Interesting. How is she liking it? What is she saying? How's it going? I hear brokers are also struggling, or they were in 2022. I know we like to hate on brokers, but they are struggling as well. They don't get as much volume anymore. New Mike TV. Yes, I got your email. I actually see it. I will reply to you after this live. Absolutely. And again, it's skipped. Yikes. So, Shanathon, I am not, my best friend, she had a hotshot business, but I am not familiar with hotshots. I mean, I know of them. I am not sure about their operations, so unfortunately, I cannot compare and contrast. I have always worked only with semi-trucks, like semi-truck and trailer. Stanford, thank you so much for the compliment. Do I use the Truck Smarter load board? No, I rely on the DAT Power load board. I also have other load boards such as, but these are broker specific. I use, let's see, Coyote, Convoy, although Convoy, I haven't booked anything with them in a while, like a year. Uber, LoadSmart, Transfix, TQL. TQL, I don't use their load board, but I do a lot of loads with TQL. They're interesting. We have built a pretty good reputation with them. So they always seem to have loads, but they do lowball, so be careful with TQL. Hi, Den from Moldova. What's my style when negotiating? It varies. It depends on the person I'm talking to. It will change, but I actually have a whole negotiation series of videos of what I use as negotiation tactics, or what I used to use. Now it's more like I pick up the phone, call the broker, they tell me, no, we're not going to go up, and I hang up. It's hard to negotiate nowadays. It's very hard. Because brokers have such a big choice of carriers, right? There are so many trucks in the market that they know that if you say no, it's all good. They'll find someone else. $4,000 a month payment. Yeah, that is, you got this. You got this. Okay, so you're talking about a dry van for Michigan, Ohio, and Indiana. Let me see. Let me just lift this up. I'm just going to change it here because this is for reefer. So we're going to put in there we go. Okay, so for dry van, so blurry, yikes. So Indiana, Ohio, there's Michigan is incredible in terms of tender rejection rates. They're really, really high in comparison to the market as a whole. You'll see it's right here, dark blue. This is Indiana and Ohio. There's good volume, but the tender rejection rates are low. So basically what that means, Ohio and Indiana, you'll still get pretty decent rates depending on where you're going to go, and there's going to be a ton of volume. on the load board. But this is because of the proximity to places like Michigan, or if you're in Indiana, to Illinois. Yeah. Hopefully that answers your question. Suppose you don't have money for a truck and you have to file insurance. What can I do not to be dismissed? So you have a year to get insurance and BOC3 on file, not to be permanently dismissed, right? Other than that, I am not sure. I would talk to the FMCSA. Just so you guys know, if you're unsure of like an answer to a question that you have for the FMCSA, they have a chat option that's Monday through Friday. They're amazing. They have help. They have helped me a lot. Yikes. See what I mean when I say my pronunciation is horrid? I talk faster than I think, and that's the result. Ibrahim, sheesh, I'm late. Welcome. Do you think it's a good idea to get into dispatching in late January? So as I said before, it's right now, if you want to do dispatching, a lot of carriers coming out from 2022, they're going to be very frugal with their money. They're not going to be spending it easily on outside services if they can do things themselves. So what you need to do is you need to, first of all, compare your rates to other dispatching companies. And number two, you have to offer additional services for that rate, right? Not just finding loads, negotiating. You have to do some back office, maybe some renewal reminders, whatnot, just to help the owner operator. Where do we operate from? Southern California. And again, it's skipped. No. Let's see. Do not. Which brokers allow new carriers to book loads with them? So the biggest one is TQL. TQL has loads pretty much everywhere, and they work with new carriers. There are certain loads that they will not book if you're a new. For example, if it's an ice cream load and you're a new reefer carrier, or you operate a reefer under a new MC, they will not book that load with you until you do a certain amount of loads. I believe it's 10. But TQL is a big one. Uber, Freight, and then there's some smaller brokers as well. I believe Coyote needs a month, and JB Hunt needs a month or 2 months. Mm-hmm. J Trucker, yeah, we briefly touched on fuel prices, that they did go up. They did go up, absolutely. So if I pull up my gauges here, if they load, I'll show you where the fuel prices are. They're still, when we look at the 50-week high and low, we will see that it's still not horrid. So it's this one right here. It's at $4.72. But if we take a look at the chart, well, I mean, it looks like it, oops, it didn't really, it went down, but it's lagging a little bit. It shows that it went down, but I also noticed that prices are going up a little bit. This chart is lagging. In terms of per barrel price, yeah, it went up. Hi, Daniel from San Diego. Starting as power only, do you recommend renting a trailer? So I have never done power only. I was actively looking into doing it towards the end of December when I realized that with the flatbed, we got stuck. And there were some really good power only loads, but we ended up not doing it. I'm not sure what's going on right now with power only. Do I recommend renting a trailer instead? You have to look at the market. So for dry vans, the market is pretty decent in the Midwest. It's pretty decent in the Midwest. California and the West Coast is pretty horrible for the dry van. The East Coast, I'm not sure. We haven't worked there yet this month. Amazon loads I have never worked with. Convoy's too cheap. I haven't booked loads with them for a year or so. I don't like their loads, and yeah, they used to be really, really good. The trailer rental company in Missouri is called TNT in Villa Ridge, Missouri. Hi, France. Johannan. See, I didn't even see any trolls. I thank you so much. Are there many power only loads? It depends which market are you looking at, and I'm happy to look. The three-letter broker, TQL, everyone hates them. I understand. They lowball and they're annoying. They're the kind of broker that will wake up my guys in the middle of the night, 20 times a night, just to find out the location, because it's such a big team and like a million people are focusing on this one load and no one keeps each other updated. It's infuriating. Scott Lynn is the same way. Oh my goodness, we have been here for like an hour and 15 minutes already. Wow. Are fuel and insurance the biggest cons to becoming an owner operator? Insurance for sure. Insurance companies, when you have a new MC, they charge you more. And fuel, just get a really good fuel card. We use RTS. I adore them. Their system is really easy to understand. So I really, really like them. Fuel is the highest expense for sure. How long am I in this industry? Over 3 years. We started in 2019. Shanathon, so I answered this question. I'm going to answer it again, but I will post this video also later on YouTube so that everyone can access it. Is it a good time to start a trucking company right now? It's not the best market, obviously, but as I said before, if you start in a bad time, you learn a lot. If you survive it, then you can grow from there. But you have to have a good cushion, safety cushion. Yes, thank you, Practicing Liberty. See. Sure thing, Fugitive. Yeah, maintenance has been one of our highest expenses. It seems like two of our trucks reached 500,000 miles. The moment a truck reaches 500,000 miles, the radiator is going to start leaking and you need a new radiator. It's insane. And after 500,000 miles, that's it. Everything goes wrong with the truck. So we have been having some maintenance expenses recently. It's infuriating. What are my favorite genres of music? I don't have one. I don't have one. I like techno. It depends on my mood, right? I like techno. I like chill music. I like country. It just depends. I like rap even sometimes. I love Eminem. So when I feel like I need to get pumped, I listen to Eminem. Oh. Cover whale. We actually cover whale insure new authorities and you. Yes, that's true. We have cover whale insurance for our baby company. They're interesting, but they require you to install a dash cam. At least for us, they did. So maybe it's because we're in California. They send you a dash cam that is 360 degrees. So thank God it's for our baby company where we don't hire any team members. But it's infuriating. That camera turns all around and it's staring you right in the face. But cover whale, yeah, that's a interesting insurance. Alexis, thank you so much. Good afternoon, Blas Chalas. Yeah, progressive is something that a lot of new owner operators go for. But again, they drop you at the drop of a hat, at least in California. when I told other insurance companies that Progressive is not renewing with us because we had one out of service order for a leaking tire because there was a nail in the tire, no one would, no one believed me. But yeah, they dropped us because of the out of service order in California. They're very strict in California in general. What's my opinion on dispatchers offering guaranteeing $10,000 revenue a week? Is it BS? So I'm never going to say that, yes, absolutely, it's BS, because I don't know what that dispatcher, what kind of contacts they have. Maybe they have some really good relationship with brokers or maybe shippers, direct shippers, whatnot. In general, yeah, it's pretty hard to get to $10,000 per week, at least for me. But maybe I'm doing something, again, I'm human. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. I cannot get to $10,000 a week. Well, maybe you could. Like if you take a load, we took a $7,000 load from Minnesota to Oregon at the end of December. And then that took, I don't remember, it was a 4 or 5 day load or something. And then get a $3,000 load for 2 days, maybe. Thanks, Ali. East Coast is bad. Yeah, I haven't been on the East Coast. I refuse to. Virginia, guys, by the way, Virginia, at least at the end of December, I was surprised. It was pretty decent. But then again, it might have been just because it was the end of December and it was for a reefer. How long do shippers take to pay? I'm not sure. I've never worked with a direct shipper, only by accident. There was only like accidental moments where I've worked with a direct shipper where they have also MC numbers. So they posted a load on the load board and I didn't even know it was a direct shipper and they paid within 15 days. Yeah. I think it was called Keystone Potato or something, that shipper. What is the average rate per mile in the Midwest? So that's an interesting question. Let's see. Let's get our DAT. I think this is the fastest way to get it. Trend lines. And by the way, this is free, you guys. You can access it. Go to DAT, resources, trend lines, and then we're going to click on, and then I forgot what we're going to click on. What do we click on? We're going to click on here, national van rates. And you will see it's saying that in the Midwest, it's on average $2.71 per mile right here. The worst place it looks like is the East Coast. Well, the West Coast is pretty bad too. This is for dry van. Sorry, reading. I'm not in, it takes me time to read through the comments. You can live and prosper without Sonar. I had it around 2 years ago. Didn't bring any difference. Yeah, so it's interesting. Sonar is one of those systems. I absolutely love it, but the reason I got it was not to improve our operations. It was to be able to bring content to YouTube, because I was severely lacking in data when it came to market research. I relied on the DAT resources a lot and doing some outside research as well. And Sonar kind of brought it all together. So that's why I got Sonar. But in general, that 3D market map that I showed you, it's perfect. I absolutely love it. Does the IRP and IFTA go together? So it's interesting. It depends on the state. Certain states, yes, you apply for IRP and IFTA in one go. Other states like California, they're completely separate. You apply separately. I don't understand. Why is it skipping? I didn't do anything. Why does technology hate me so much? Oh, Sneaky is barking in the background. She probably saw a dog or something. fugitive, layoff. I believe, if I am not mistaken, I read that Amazon just laid off 18,000 workers. Yeah, Amazon is, yikes. Yeah, you hate TQL because they won't tell you the load specifics. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's infuriating. That's why I absolutely love Coyote, Uber, and I used to love Convoy, because you see all the shipper's information, the receiver's information, and right away you can tell whether you're picking up or delivering to a normal place. Dave, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to skip you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I didn't mean to skip you. It's just my chat is skipping and going nuts. Thank you. Let's see. Power only loads around Massachusetts East Coast. Let's take a look. I'm going to take a look on my other screen though. Power only, and let's put in yikes, I can't type today. Let's put in Westfield, Massachusetts, and we'll put in for tomorrow because on Sunday there are no loads. So it shows me 22 exact matches. So there's a broker without a credit score who pays $2,500 for 950 miles to Florida. No, it's Illinois, sorry, but they don't have a credit score, nothing. So usually, well, there's a normal broker, power only from New York, 93 miles away. It's total with deadhead around 500 miles. Yep, 500 miles for $1,200, but there's not a ton of volume that I see. Now, something I have noticed in the past year is that when you're looking ahead of time, you're not going to see as many loads on the load board. They take them off for some reason. Like if you look, I don't know, what did I look at recently? I looked at something in the Midwest and there were like 20 loads there for the next day, but when I logged in next day, it was like 500 loads. Yeah, so another reason I don't book in advance. Jerome, yes, I thank you so much. I just I don't want to I try not to skip any questions if I can help it, unless technology doesn't permit me to do so. William, I agree. Texas is perfect. It's my favorite state, and I have never been there. I would love to move to Texas. Let's see. Do I recommend buying a used truck for starting a trucking business? It depends on how used. So as I said, once you hit 500,000 miles on a truck, and this happened to us and it happened to an acquaintance of ours, you hit 500,000 miles on a truck and it starts falling apart. So I would not recommend buying a truck with a ton of mileage, but in terms of maintenance costs, there's a huge difference. I believe from what I calculated, when we got our new truck, our very first truck, was brand new, we ordered it. The maintenance cost the first year, you know what, I have it somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. I'll tell you exact figures. Sorry, guys. I try to be very, very organized here. Sometimes it takes me a while to find my own files. So yeah, year one with the new truck was $3,181 in maintenance. Year two with that truck was $12,415 in maintenance. Year three, $20,891 in maintenance. So yeah, used trucks definitely require more investments in terms of repairing them and maintaining them. So, Lydia, unfortunately, I'm not very familiar with box trucks. I have only worked with semi trucks and trailers, the big rigs. Convoy fuel card beats the rest. I have actually never heard of their fuel card. I should check it out. It's always a good idea also, to keep several fuel cards going at the same time. Yeah, Texas to Utah pays a lot, especially for a reefer. It pays good, but $9,000, yeah, that's amazing. Great West, yes, that is a good insurance company. I agree. Do we factor? Sometimes. Some loads, yes. For the most part, I try not to factor. It depends. Again, I wear suspenders with a belt, so I try to keep a certain amount in the account at all times, just in case. So if the money is not coming in quick enough, I will factor. If I live to have an interest. So for IFTA, James, IFTA in California, I believe road ready registration would be your best bet if you want someone else to do it. Road ready registration. And they do IRP as well. If you're getting IRP plates, they do it within 2 days, because in California, to get IRP takes about a month sometimes, because they have a dinosaur system. It takes a long time. Oh, skipped. Don't skip. Let's see. Let me try to find where I was. The DAT trend lines, they're accurate, but they're delayed by, I believe, like something like 2 weeks. So they're accurate, but not for now. Yeah, they're a little bit delayed. In terms of the, like, if you look at, let's see, where is my resources? Yeah, they're a little bit delayed because Sonar, for example, uses the electronic tenders that happen real time. DAT trend lines and the rates they show are delayed because I don't remember. It was explained to me. I don't remember. I'll get back to you. Wait station out of service does go on your record, absolutely, because if they do an inspection at the same time, yeah, that out of service does go on your record. Hi, Yoshi. Sai, I am half Georgian, half Ukrainian. I was born in Ukraine. Uzbekistan, no, I've never been to Uzbekistan. Trucking crypto, why do I use DAT? Honestly, I'm a creature of habit. That's the one that I started with, and I know it inside and out at this point, so I stuck with it. Yeah, Coyote Logistics is pretty good Roadrunner. We're on a Coyote load right now for our dry van. They're pretty good, and they don't bother you at all. Hi there. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce NDRICIM. Hi. See. Container work. I have never worked with container work. That's a funny sentence. So I'm not sure. Alexei, Geroem Slava. Thank you so much. Jamal, so I used to use Excel, or on the Mac it's called Numbers, to track everything, but now I use Airtable, and I actually have some Airtable videos of how I built my own TMS system. I absolutely love Airtable. It's amazing. David, what do you mean how I attribute to double brokers? Yes, and as Bedros said, oh, my pronunciation. Hold on, I need a drink of coffee. As Bedros said, if I haven't answered your question, it's usually because the chat skips and I lose my place and it's a mess. Lululemon, you have a truck that you're buying with a little over 500K miles, make sure just check the history of the truck. Yeah, in our experience, 500,000 miles, two of our trucks are past 500,000 miles. Both of them needed the radiator changed and started breaking down, or there's always something happening, especially in freezing weather. Especially in freezing weather. The weather doesn't help at all. And an acquaintance of ours also had that problem. So, yeah. How how would I react if I know I take a load from a double broker? I try to not take loads from double brokers if I can help it. I have had experience taking loads from double brokers, and yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it, but I think I found the formula of figuring out who is a double broker. They usually have a very new MC with a ton of great reviews on the DAT load board with an excellent credit score, and they do not factor. And they usually use this program called rigs. I don't know. Do you guys agree? Let's see. Will I do a comparison of fuel cards? I would love to. I just need to. We use only the RTS. We have the TCS fuel card as well, but we haven't used it as much. Once we experiment with other fuel cards, absolutely, I'll make a video on that. How much would be an average cost to have a driver? It depends on how much you are paying them, because payroll is going to be the highest cost, right? And it also depends on which state they're based out of in terms of payroll taxes. Dual Donatas. Hi, I'm good. How are you? Rocky. Any advice how to get an ear so nice like yours? What do you mean an ear? My ear? Or an earring? Dedicated, Dan, I don't do dedicated. I work on the spot market only, and no dedicated. I book as we go. Sure thing, Jamal. Sardor, I'll have to get back to you on a way to get dedicated. I never even tried, to be honest. I haven't had the time to get direct shippers, dedicated loads, or anything like that. So once I do, I'll share it with you guys. Why am I hitting myself on the table? James, you know what I think it is? As far as I know, at least after talking to a couple of agents, Progressive is not like that everywhere. I think it has to do with California. I don't know what it is about California. California is not a good place to start a trucking company. Why did I use Airtable instead of Excel? Honestly, at first I saw it, the first time I saw Airtable, it was in a video that was done by Toe Piglet. And it's just easier. Everything starts, like once you create bases, you can interconnect them to different bases so you don't have to repeat anything, if that makes sense. If you watch some of the Airtable videos I made, I think you will understand what I mean. Hi, Ashot Grigorian. I'm good. How are you? Yarko, you're Ukrainian. Slava Ukraini. Jamal, do you mean the Sonar? Sonar is not monthly, it's quarterly. It's $2,000 per quarter. Airtable, if you mean Airtable, I forgot. Let me see. I believe I have the pro version of Airtable. And that is, if my internet decides to work, that would be great. Yeah, I need to, I'll get back to you. Email me and I'll let you know. Eduardo, how old does your dry van trailer need to be to avoid being rejected at shippers? So from what I have seen, for dry vans, it's not as often that brokers will ask about the age of the trailer. Usually it's no older than 10 years old, just in general. But it's not often that brokers ask about it. I think it's shipper specific. I do recommend getting a trailer that is newer than 10 years old, just so that all loads are open to you. What brand? We only run Freightliners, and our average fuel mileage, it depends on the truck. It depends on the truck. We had one truck in our baby company where the consumption was ridiculous. And that's because the fuel tanks, they were not, see, I'm an idiot when it comes to trucks, so I can't tell you the exact lingo, but it's basically, it doesn't balance the fuel, whatever it's called, you guys know. So the consumption there was horrible. It was like 5 miles per gallon, 6 miles per gallon. But for our newer trucks, it can be 8, 9, depending also on the area. Then, yes, I have heard that TCS is a pretty good fuel card. So yeah, I need to start using it. GT, where do I find the statistics for what you preach? I use the Sonar system. I used to do like a ton of research, and I used to use the DAT resources as well as just my own personal research from different government websites, whatnot. Thank you, Josh Jones. I appreciate it. You guys don't have to do it, but I really appreciate it. Thank you. But now I use Sonar, the Sonar system, which is this thing that you see behind me. It has so much stuff related to the trucking industry. I'm obsessed with statistics, if you guys haven't realized it yet. Is Minnesota a good place to start a trucking company? So in terms of rates, I'm not sure. I've never been to Minnesota. I'm not sure what their taxes are like or anything, but in terms of rates at the moment and in the past, from what I've seen, it's incredible, both for dry vans and reefers. The rates from Minnesota are insane. Josh, I'm good. How are you? A waste tube TQL. We work with TQL a lot. We have built a really good reputation with TQL. They do lowball a lot, and they annoy with their check calls. No one keeps anyone updated at TQL. So that's the downside, but they have loads everywhere. So we work with them a lot. Damon, unfortunately, I am not very familiar with hotshots. I focus on semi trucks. I've only worked with semi trucks, so I'm not very familiar with hotshots. Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know. David, are you sure you want to say that you're a double broker? It's not good. Let's see. WTH Shorts, can I make a video about how much an average owner operator net in 1 year? I mean, it depends on operations. It depends on the area of operations. It depends on the equipment type they're running. It depends on how often they're on the road. So the only thing I can do is share my numbers, which I try to do every month. GT, I answered your question already. I use Sonar for the statistics. What year was I born in? Not gonna tell you. I'm very young. I'm not very young, but yeah, no. Tyrone, unfortunately, I'm not sure. Again, I specialize in semi-trucks. I'm not sure about box trucks, hot shots, sprinter vans, cargo vans. Bill Ulu. So are you talking about Idaho for reefers or dry vans? Sorry, I have something stuck in my throat again. Dan, if you want to email me, talkabouttrucking@gmail.com. Anthony, you should try Toby Mac. Who's that? I'll check them out. Oh, thank you. You guys, these I appreciate these comments so much. I really thank you so much for the compliment. It just makes me blush really badly. I'm really shy. I know sometimes I don't seem like it, but I'm really, really shy. Sardor, what do you think? Why fake double brokers selling big companies loads? Honestly, I don't know how to tell if this is a double broker from a phone call, but I can see from the posting. I think I found a way to see it, which is these brokers, they usually do not have, so they have a new MC, an excellent credit score, no factoring available. No one wants to factor with them, like the factoring companies. They have excellent reviews, and usually they use rigs. That's how I have found it. Риска нет, с Рождеством. Thank you, Jason. I love when this skips. It's amazing. Let's see, what did I miss? What did I miss? What did I miss? Bill Dryvan. What was your question again? Let's see. Let me find it. Bill. Dryvan. Bill, can you repeat your question? I completely forgot. I'm sorry. Oh, how is Idaho looking right now for a dry van? Let's take a look. I love Sonar. I don't know. I'm going to release another video tomorrow, the weekly market update. But let's take a look for dry van. Oh, great. Hold on. 1 second. Trends. 1 second. Where's my? So Idaho, can you see that? Yeah. So if it loads today, while it's loading, I'm going to just answer other questions. When you first started, how did you keep track of invoices, expenses? Did I start using a factoring company? No, we did not start by using a factoring company, and I used QuickBooks for invoices and expenses and a spreadsheet that I made myself in the beginning. So nothing fancy. I'm not sure what is going on with my beautiful Sonar. I think it finally quit on me. See. Okay, there we go. This is for vans. Idaho is looking pretty horrid for vans. So this is Idaho right here. I know you guys can't see it, but it's flat. There is no volume, and it's very, very pale, which means there is no tender rejections there, which means not a ton to choose from. And if there is something to choose from, it's not going to be great. Let me see if, let's see. Whoa, what did I put in? Idaho, Idaho, Idaho. So yeah, The loads are not great there. I mean, I guess you can get, like, from Jerome, Idaho, there's a load for, it's like 1,200 some miles for $2,350 to El Paso. But El Paso is also not a ton of things. You can go back to California from Idaho for a decent rate, but you need a TWIC card. Yeah, it's not a great place for dry vans right now. Yes, so James, absolutely. I'm sorry if I skipped some questions. I'll get back to that. Sometimes they call with a load when you have a truck posted, impersonate a good broker. That's exactly what happened to us. Remember, I made a video, if you guys watched it, where we got scammed? Yeah, that's what happened to us. They impersonated an excellent broker. And what you have to do, what I do now, is if someone calls on our posted truck, I will call them back using the number that's listed under that brokerage, under the Safer website, the FMCSA website, to make sure that this load is valid. GT Sonar is not on the DAT website. If you search up FreightWaves, it's their system. FreightWaves is an awesome website where there's a ton of news about the trucking industry and transportation industry in general. Sure thing, Sardor. TWICs, I have never dealt with them, so I'm not sure. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, Always. 30,000? Did you file, was it just like a fake broker, or do they have a bond? Vincent, I do not do one-on-one consultations at the moment, and the reason is just because time constraints. But I'm always happy to answer any questions by email. So, guys, I think I'm going to do another 10 minutes here, and then I'm going to log off. And maybe we'll do this a little bit more often, more than twice a month. It's been fun, right? I'm going to try to answer as many questions as possible right now. Vincent, I didn't fully understand your question about the spreadsheets. If you can repeat it, that would be amazing. KM Ramirez, I am not sure. Getting grants that would help with funding. I am not sure. I'm sorry. I'm not familiar with any, and I would hate to give you the wrong information. Let's see. Any idea how DAT calculates analysis RPM based on posted rates? Or I think they have real final data after negotiations, but it's delayed. So Sonar, it uses real-time electronic tenders. DAT, it's delayed by a couple of weeks from what I remember. G Market Hub, hi, thank you. So Sardor, I rely heavily on the DAT Power load board for both dry vans and reefers, and the flatbed when we had it. I absolutely love the DAT load board. But for vans, Uber is actually a pretty good load board. If you have a 53-foot dry van, they have a ton of loads there, of course, depending on the market. Dion, I'm so glad you enjoyed it. I love it. Hi. Thank you so much. Michael, thank you so much. Do I have any ideas for containers? I am not sure. I'm not sure. If you want to email me your question, I'll be happy to do some research. How is Texas for loads? So Texas in general, both for dry vans and reefers, it's not that great. Dallas has a ton of volume. So this is for dry vans, and you will see it right here. This is the Dallas area. There's a ton of volume. You can't see it. Who am I kidding? I thought this was such a great idea. Well, you can see the volume right here. There's a ton of volume, but not a ton of tender rejections, which means that ton of loads, not a ton to choose from. So you will probably get like a $2 per mile load to the Midwest, which is good, but nothing insane. Although from Texas to Utah with a dry van or a reefer is always really, really good. As one of you actually said that as well. Bilulu, you're hitting the bar today. Oh my goodness, why? Why is it skipping? Oh, no, I didn't find it. There we go, I found my place. Um, Tammy, I'm so sorry. Yikes. Mm. Vincent, how much does Sonar play in your planning for my drivers? So initially, I got Sonar not to plan for my own operations. I got Sonar to be able to make more concise and basically videos with real data on YouTube. But now, just in the past week or so, I have started using Sonar to plan. And honestly, for the dry vans so far, I didn't do it so much for the reefers, but for our dry vans, it's been amazing. It's been amazing. We have been getting pretty good rates per mile. Rate per mile. Rates per mile? Yeah, rates per mile. Do you have knowledge on dispatching? Eugene, yeah, absolutely. So I dispatch my own fleet. I made a dispatching course as well. It's available on my website. But in terms of my prediction for 2023, I think that, as I said before, January, in the middle of January, all the way through February, it's going to be a slowdown, less volume. And then from there, hopefully, it will start going up as produce season approaches. You got only $2,000 from bonds? And this was 30,000. How did this happen? Yikes. I'm sorry, Owace. That's horrible. I have heard one of you guys emailed me a few weeks back saying that this double broker was making this poor, I think it was a girl, I don't remember, this poor, or maybe it was a team, husband and wife, I don't remember, but was making them store the load in their trailer. It was crazy. And they were not figuring out where to deliver it. It was insane. G Market Hub, that is a great question. I get it a lot. Can you bring on an owner operator who has their own authority to work under your company? I have not found a clear-cut answer to this yet. I have a video on this. I think it's called, I don't remember what it's called, but I do have a video on this, and I don't have a clear-cut answer of whether this is doable. Some people say yes, others say no. Yeah. Mariah, absolutely. I love it. It's really fun. Oh, Eugene, can you see me now? I just saw your comment. Hopefully you can see it. Let's see. Sorry, it again skipped. Yikes. I need something to put my hair up, seriously. It's everywhere. Hello. I'm sorry, I lost my place, so I'm just going to see what do I think about paying diesel with credit card? We use the fuel card. There are moments where we have to use the credit card if, for example, we're in the middle of Nowheresville, Nevada, and there's no refueling station that is supported by the RTS fuel card. Sometimes they don't even accept the RTS fuel card. We will use the credit card. I don't see anything wrong with it. I don't see anything wrong with it. The only thing is you don't get discounts. Absolutely, Eduardo. My pleasure. No more flatbed, Valerie. No, we gave up on it because we got stuck there. The load started just disappearing. We were stuck on the West Coast for 1.5 months. I couldn't get my guy out, not because the rates were bad. There were no loads going out. So we gave up on the flatbed and we have a dry van on that truck instead. Frisco, San Diego, California. California in general, if you look, you can't see it, yikes. Well, here it shows you there's a ton of freight volume in California. The tender rejection rates are pretty low. So yeah, a ton of loads, not the best rates right now. So, but the question for you is for dry van in San Diego or for reefer? Blaster, let's go. I don't know how I even came up with that, by the way. I don't remember. And I noticed it always clicks when I say let's go. And that's because my tongue is making a weird clicking noise. I always thought it was something like I'm hitting something. No, my tongue is making a very weird clicking noise when I say let's go. Oh, Estrella, you have a cashback card. That's interesting. In that case, you have to compare what is the fuel discount with a fuel card versus the cashback. Just compare and contrast. Bill Ulu, absolutely. It's my pleasure. I'm having so much fun. Do fuel cards give cash back? The one that we have does not. The RTS fuel card does not. I'm not sure about others. Yes, it's been, let's see, I have 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. 3:30 Pacific time. At that point, unfortunately, I have to go. Then what did I skip? Let's see. We have 5 trucks. And in terms of trailers, we predominantly do reefers and dry vans. Well, predominantly reefers, but we also have 2 dry vans. Eugene, absolutely. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Abdul and Yel. See, what did I miss? I have 1 more minute. I'll answer 1 more question. Let me choose a question. You know what? Let me choose. I completely forgot about the other questions I got on the under my post. Yikes. Did I answer any of them? I did pretty much. Let's see. I told you guys how I started. I did all of that. Okay, 1 more question. Let's see. How long have I been in the USA? Since 2009. 2009 is when I moved here. All right, guys, I really, really appreciate this. This was so much fun. I was so nervous in the beginning because I didn't know what to expect, but this was amazing. So let me know, do you guys want, I can do this like, I'll try to do this every week. It's really fun. Or maybe, you know, just to give everyone a break, maybe twice a month on Sundays. But anyway, I appreciate you guys. Abdul, yes, yes, yes. I love it. Okay, well, I'll keep you posted. You know, when I plan to do lives, I'll let you know in advance on the YouTube community tab. But I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for the questions. It's been really, really fun. Why did we quit Flatbed? Because the market died on us. Thanks, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.